and I saw you and I was like, what's up, bro? And you looked at me like, you do know I'm ready to rip your head smooth off your neck and your shoulders and keep walking before your body hits the ground. And I had never been in a position like, because I'm that's usually me.
We always recognize each other, baller to a baller, that we brothers.
Yeah.
But I was so pissed, bro. I was pissed. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get a dub, man. Don't be trying to soften me up.
Hello, everybody. It's LaVar Arrington here. Yes, coming to you live with another exciting edition of Up On Game presents That's Your Mama. No, I'm just joking. It's Conversations with a Legend. And I got a legend with me today. Boy, do I got a legend with me today.
Chop, chop.
Some people call him TKO. Some people call him Ayukit. Some people call him Ryu. Some people say Street Fighter 2. But, you know, to the regular human being out there, we call him Mr. Takeo Spikes. Welcome into the show, my brother. How's everything going? How you feeling?
Man, from one backer to another, my dog, everything is good.
Indeed.
Life is good here in the ATL.
Indeed.
I'm finally glad I got the call to be on the show.
Come on, man. We've been waiting for this. I've been waiting. Look, anytime I get a thumper like myself coming on the show, it's always exciting for me because we just relate in a different way. You know, it's just a different manner. And for you, you know, people have watched the way that guys like yourself have played with the amount of violence and raw physical force that was involved. But then they hear you speak and it's like, whoa, hold on, wait, stop, wait. Then they hear the words that you're saying. It's like, whoa, hey, this dude is an intellectual. He speaks real well. He's an entrepreneur, a high accomplishment guy, has gone to business school. I mean, your resume, your list is super long. And when I'm around dudes that played my position and further the narrative that we are indeed the greatest player that plays on the field, for many reasons, I enjoy having guys like you come on. So I appreciate you coming on. Talk to me about what you got going on. I mean, you are an entrepreneur. You do got a lot of things going on. Know you got a podcast. How's the podcast doing? How's all the businesses doing?
Oh, man, everything is good in it. LA, I'm glad. I appreciate you reaching out on that, man, because we've came a long way since we talked.
Indeed.
You know, I remember the first time I was like, all right, you know, I just had dropped a book, Behind the Mask.
Yeah.
Volume 1 was dedicated to some of the greatest linebackers that played the game. And I just simply got them sharing their story of how did they become great, right? And so you could pick that up anywhere. You can go to Amazon, basically, boom. Okay, right here. Okay, you see my pretty mug on it right there.
Yeah. But, we'll make sure we put a link up.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can get that behindthemaskbook.com. But that has went over to the podcast. And then the more and more I continue to do the podcast, which you made an appearance on it, it's about time for you to make another one.
Come on, let's do it.
But that has went on to, you know what? We're so much more than a podcast. We're so much more than the athlete. So myself, business partner, Tutan Reyes, we turned it into a media company. And so now what we're doing is we're still going around sharing some of the greatest athletes, baseball, basketball, football, of course. And we just sharing untold stories that people really love to hear. We talk about business ventures. We talk about social issues. We talk about real life things as if you and I are sitting inside of the locker room. And now we're continuing to make that push, and we'll definitely get some traction, man. So make sure everybody who's listening, you can find us Spotify, Apple. We also have the visual aid component to it on YouTube. Nice. So at the BTM Podcast. So make sure you check us out.
BTM. Make sure you check him out. As you can see, he's interesting to listen to. So you want to go check out his episodes and see what he's got going on. Now, you're part of the Legends community, and what you do in business and being a part of the Legends community. Just talk to me a little bit about how important it is to have, a body like the Legends to assist and aid, not just for, things like benefits and things that are eligible to guys that have served the line of duty of playing, but also what you're talking about with being able to network and talk through the business ventures that are going on out there, to be a part of the podcast and the shows and different things that we launch. How important is the Legends community, and what has it meant to you?
It's meant a lot. One, it gave us a platform, and we've always had a platform, but sometimes we need to be reminded of that. Mm-hmm. And so by us being reminded that we do have one of the greatest platforms in the world, now it's all about how can we strategically use the same intent as if we just walked off the practice field and we have these conversations. A lot of them was useless, worthless at the moment, but they felt good to hear. But now it's more so, how can we come up with these same conversations? And we could talk about something is huge, but you don't think about it when you're younger, like healthcare, being able to go out, also being able to connect guys in certain arenas. You and I were talking, and then we found out that we had mutual people that we do work with, and then we tried to strategize on trying to see how can we make it even bigger and better, not individually, but collectively.
Together.
And so, that's what it's all about, man. When you talk about the Legends community, it's reminding guys that, yeah, you still have a voice. Yes, you are very important. And three, the third thing is you are connected. And so how do we connect the dots in order to get the results that you want? And one of my main things is when I talk to guys all the time, look, a lot of guys feel like, well, I really haven't said nothing and I kind of shy away from it. Well, that's fine. Well, this is how you can pay me back. You help the next one, pay it forward. And so that's what the Legends community is all about.
Indeed. Yes, it is. All right. So, and speaking of Legends and Legends community, I got to jump into the approach, the idea, because very few people that I've come in contact with have ever been as intense, if not more intense than I am. And it's funny, I remember a lasting memory, and you might not even remember it, but I remember a lasting memory when we were playing against Buffalo. And before the game, y'all were going into the locker room, I believe. And I saw you and I was like, "What's up, bro?" And you looked at me like, you do know I'm ready to rip your head smooth off your neck and your shoulders and keep walking before your body hits the ground. And I had never been in a position like, because I'm that's usually me.
Hey, bro. Hey, that was all of that frustration pent up. You going out there, you holding teams to 14, 15 points. You supposed to come out with the dub.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? We always recognize each other, baller to a baller, that we brothers.
Yeah.
I was so pissed, bro. I was pissed. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get a dub, man. Don't be trying to soften me up.
Right.
Gotta watch for the hook, man.
I just couldn't believe that moment on changed my pregame approach. I ice grilled everybody I ice grilled like offensive dudes, like try to intimidate them, used to like walk and stare dudes down pregame. But that made me start doing it to everybody. I was like, man, Takeo Spikes just sunned me in Buffalo, in Orchard Park. I was like, man, that was fire. Like, threw me off. So if you thought I was trying to throw you off, it totally threw me off. But I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm going to do everybody the same exact way from here on out. So I wasn't friends with nobody. if it was during the game, if it had something to do with the game, we weren't cool. Like, we just weren't cool. I changed it up from that moment.
This is the thing, though. This is what I do remember. When I don't know if it was Josh Reed or somebody was on the sideline and you was coming over there and they saw you coming like probably 15 yards away and they went ahead and got down. And so by the time you made it over there towards the sideline, I was thinking in my head, like, I'm glad he did get down because he was about to get decapitated. I didn't even say that. You walked over and you looked at me and said, TKO, you better tell him. I'm going to take his head off.
Take his head off.
I was just like, hey, damn, I was thinking it.
I would have loved to have got it. I tried to add as many heads as I could to my wall. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
All right. You come from Atlanta. You're from what? You're from Georgia. What part?
Sandersville.
Sandersville.
Right outside of Augusta.
Right outside Augusta. Right. Yep. Not Atlanta. And I mean, you played ball. Like, what was the experience like? There have been so many dudes that have come from small schools, small towns, had a difficult time getting recruited, but ended up making it one way or another. You had a different path. Like, you was always known as a baller.
Yeah, man.
How was that for you?
It was coming from a small town. You know what it was? It was the cats who really came before me. And so I think about Robert Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
We both came out. He was 2 years older than me, but he went to UGA, went there as a corner, left as a running back, got drafted in the first round in 98 to the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Same draft I was in. So I think he went 18 and I went 13.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think about another guy, Demetro Stevens, played linebacker at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
So he he made a free agent tryout with the Jets. So for me, just the 2 years before I got to that point, they really put Sandersville on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Waco, what we call it, Washington County.
Okay.
And when people came in, their palate was already craving for another baller.
Mm-hmm.
And so I fit that mold. And when I came out, it was more so, I remember one recruiter asking me, it was head coach of the Houston Texans, Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith.
I remember he was coaching at Tennessee and he was like, well, Takeo, what makes you so good? I remember pausing and looking at him and saying, I'm the king of the runners and hitters in high school.
Mm.
And then he was like, well, I think that's it. That's enough. We're going to go ahead and offer this young man right here.
Uh-huh.
But it was the stage was set. And for me, I felt like nobody really knew just because I was from a small town. But the truth be told, a lot of people knew. And for me to have that confidence to come out and tell Lovie that,
mm-hmm.
it solidified it. And everybody was like, you know what? He is that.
Then you go to Auburn, War Eagle.
Oh! That's that battle cry, baby.
Hey, all right. Tell me where War Eagle. I know the story, but for those who may be ignorant to, because everybody knows Auburn as the Auburn Tigers, but y'all go War Eagle. So where did War Eagle come from?
Well, what it is, we are the Auburn Tigers, but the old tale is, battles and wars and all of that happened. And at the end of the day, you saw this War Eagle flying over the top after Auburn was victorious. And it came up after that as that was the battle cry of the mascot of the school, Auburn Tigers. So yes, Tiger is the mascot, mm-hmm. but the War Eagle is the battle cry.
Okay. I like it. Personally, I might have went to Auburn just to come out to Eye of the Tiger, man. What does that feel like? What does that feel like to come out to Eye of the Tiger, man?
It's 85,000. It was 85,000 when I was in school. And bro, you are frowned upon if you have your store open during the game. Mm-hmm. Only way you can have it open if you was a sports bar and you had a TV. Outside of that, everybody was in the game. And bro, it was like you were treated like royalty. Put it this way, I remember going to Cincinnati, drafted out of Auburn. And I remember going there and they were like, all right, I was like, man, now I get a chance to get all like the Nike stuff. I get a chance to get unlimited socks, shoes. Man, I go there to the equipment manager and he was like, look, if you got a pair of socks, you bring them back. And I was like, bring them back for what? Well, that's the way we do it around here. That's the only way you're going to get some more. And I was like, well, at Auburn, like we used to just get 2, 3 at a time. We can't do that here. And he was like, this is the NFL. This is what we do here in Cincinnati. Okay. So I was like, damn, I remember going to Willie Anderson saying, bro, socks?
Right.
Like we could, at Auburn, that's what it was. But I felt like we had a taste of the league before we were actually in the league.
It was actually better.
They did a very good job of not only supplying the athlete with what he needed, but you also had what you wanted too.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that is important to all of this is the educational aspect of it. Talk to me a little bit about what your experiences were being a student athlete.
It was, for me, everybody go through their trials and tribulations. Like I give you a good story, great story right here. Like I was a guy, I didn't test well. I mean, I wasn't a dummy, but I didn't test well. And it took me a minute to pass the SAT. And so when I got to Auburn, I was so afraid. And I felt like, man, maybe I'm not as smart as I thought I was in the beginning. And when I got there, I made the dean's list the first semester. First quarter, we was on the quarters back then. So I made the dean's list and I was like, hold up. But I did take this test. And then that's when a counselor told me, don't worry about that. You're fine. Stay locked in, stay focused. Don't be paying attention to these girls down here because you see a lot of them around and you will be good. And so that's what I did, bro. And so
were there a lot of them?
Yeah, well, listen.
Was there a lot?
It was a lot.
There was a lot.
Tutors and everything. Hey, but bro, I locked in, champ.
You locked in.
I locked in, and when I locked in, man, what it made me realize is I really locked in. I tapped into something that was greater than me, and it was just another level of focus. And so what I saw from tapping in with that, and then having the support, what they gave me, like it really it helped me to understand from the academic side, man, these people, they got vested interest. Like, of course, yeah, the reason why you're there because they want you to play ball, but they're going to make sure you're going to stay not only eligible, but you're going to graduate within 4 years. And so that was the thing that really stood out to me because, I didn't graduate in 4 years. I left early as a junior. You're familiar with that. But then the other side of it is it let me know, man, if you really don't make it while you're in college, like you really you got to try to not make it. Because with the support system that they gave me, making sure, it's not necessarily babysitting, but that's the way it's supposed to be when you're bringing in the economics of the game. You're bringing in all that money. Indeed. You take care of what's bringing in the money.
So NIL, the idea of what would it have been like, what would you have done with it had you been in school during the NIL? And what's your take on, like, what's your impressions of it? What's your opinions on what it is?
I love it. I love the fact that kids now can take advantage of their name, image, and likeness, NIL, the way that they're supposed to. I love the fact of it puts pressure on kids. You are now forced to learn the business side of the game. When you and I went to school, if it wasn't brought to your attention, you would not think of the business side of the game. You would think about, how can I get from point A to point B? You didn't think about, okay, so if this person over here is selling my jersey, and if he's selling for this amount, and he's driving this, and then he continues to sell people jerseys, how is he doing that? And so I love the idea of it. I know a lot of people feel like, oh, college is never going to be the same anymore. It's going to get watered down. Man, I ain't hearing that. I ain't hearing that crap. I'm not hearing it, because at the end of the day, you know, you got to be able to you have to be compensated as these younger kids. And I think more than anything, what I'm excited about, it forces the younger student athlete to pay attention to the economics of the game and make you understand, hey, I see coaches who recruited me to come to this school, then they turn around and leave after 1 year. And now your feelings are hurt. Well, coach, you say you never would leave. No. Players get the same opportunities now to be able to leave, and you understand it's a business, period. That's what it is.
It's a business. What you'd have done?
Oh, man. I was already like, I knew all of the boosters anyway.
Uh-huh.
And so we're going to have a good time. And it ain't too many people don't like, by the way,
True.
FYI to the audience out there. And hopefully you're going to be in love with me after this interview too.
True.
But with the boosters at Auburn, we would have found ways to get creative with deals. Yeah. And I would have gave them what they wanted, not only on the football field, but on the side of what we doing appearances. Yeah. On the side of where we doing some brand strategy. I would have did all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you say that, because I'm putting you on the spot right on this show. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Put you on the spot. Are we going to do it?
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
There it is.
It's on the spot.
There it is.
We're going to package up your knowledge, and we're going to put some muscle to the hustle, and we're going to make something happen.
Yeah.
That's on interview. Like that's on interview, you know. It's in the files. It's in the archive.
Yeah. And why not? Why should
Why not? Yeah, you're right. Why not?
We speak the language. We know the language very well.
Yes.
And we're able to go out there and be smart, strategic about it.
Indeed. And I feel like that's a major part of being able to assist these young people. It's something that, you know, I know you've been passionate about, and just let me end with this question. It's always a question that I end with every interview, because it's important for me to capture the words from you to know and to have, because it's just vitally important. But what does Takeo Spikes want his legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done, and the horns sound, the game is struck zero on every single zero on the board? What will you want people to remember you by? What would you want the people that are going to speak on your behalf to say about Takeo Spikes?
I would say it's a good question, bro. Very good question. I would say I would want my reputation to precede me before I walk in any door. And that conversation would sound like, this guy was smart. He was fair. He was disciplined. He was a loving father. He started out by keeping people in his circle that he influenced. And as he got older, he really cherished the people who was in his corner. And he would do anything to help someone that wanted knowledge to benefit themselves. And after you add all of that into the pot and you pour that out into the pan for it to cool off, all of that would be Takeo Spikes' legacy was relentless and amazing. That's what it is.
I know that's right. Well, I had a whole bunch more questions for you, but you know, I want to have the opportunity to bring you back on, and we do a part 2. But I just for teaser's sake, we got to get into the neck. We got to talk about the neck. We got to talk about cooking, because honestly speaking, one of the things that we might have to do is create a cooking show, a tailgating show, because I know you like to burn, and I like to burn as well. It's cooking therapy for me. I'm trying to leave it alone because, as you can see, my physique isn't doing as well as yours is with all of the cooking that be going on around here. So I've had to kind of take a step back from all of the taste testing and then eating it when we all come together at the dinner table to eat our meals. So there's that. So
LA, you still got time, bro. You still have time.
There you have it. From the chef TKO, his food will knock you out. Until next time, y'all. Hey, listen, you've been put up on game with Up on Game Presents Conversations with a Legend. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Check us out on anywhere and everywhere where you have downloadable opportunities. You can check us out on YouTube as well. Make sure you check out Takeo and BTM Behind the Mask podcast. Same difference. Subscribe. Go check them out. Dope stuff. I've been a part of it. I stamp it. Dope show, man. Hey, look, man. We're just gonna keep it going because I put it on wax, as they would say. Us old timers. I put it on wax. We banged on wax just now, so we got to circle up and we got to talk. But we certainly will talk because these young boys need us with what's going on and understanding the opportunity that's in front of them before it gets too far out there. And it's almost too difficult to set a standard and create a foundation for all of these young boys coming in. So we're going to get together, man.
No doubt, bro. And we the only vested interest we have is that we care and we've already ran and walked the miles in their shoes.
Indeed.
That's it.
That's what it is, man. All right. We'll check y'all out. Till next time, I'll holler at y'all, man.